Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of Rising Stories podcast. I'm Corrine Sandifer, your host. As a business and life coach working with local business owners, I started this podcast to help empower some of my clients, to let them hear from other business owners and hear their tips, their stories, and their keys to success. But you don't have to be a business owner or author to enjoy this podcast because we talk about everything from books, life struggles, favorite apps, and so much more. I know that you're going to enjoy these stories, and I hope that it will empower you to rise to success in your own story. In Season 2, I am featuring influential women in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville has become the it city, and it is vibrant and bursting with female entrepreneurs, female business owners, and authors that are just rising to the top, and I wanted to capture that. So I am featuring all Nashville women during Season 2. I might do an episode here and there of other things, but I wanted you to know what Season 2 was all about, and it is exciting. I'm actually going to their places of where they work or what they're doing in their job, and I am capturing them in their element, and it has been exciting. So let's start with our guest, Courtney Whitmore, lifestyle blogger, party planner on her site Pizzazzerie, shares 2 of the best pieces of advice that will knock your socks off. Her new book was part of Southern Living magazine's gift guide in their December issue. And one thing about Courtney is that she is intentional with everything that she does in life. She is a content creator, and we talk about blogging, we talk about affiliates, we talk about our schedules, and she also shares some of her Nashville favorites. You don't want to miss this one because she tells us how she does it all, and you'll learn a few tips for sharing your own content on social media. But before we begin, I want to tell you that today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. If you have listened to me long enough, you know I love books and I love audiobooks because I just throw one in and put it on my phone, put it on in my car, and I'm listening in between meetings. I'm learning something. Either it's a book about, helping self-help, leadership skills, or it's a novel. So I'm really enjoying my Audible. And I am currently listening to Pitch Perfect by Bill McGowan. This book will teach you how to network effectively and how to give an awesome speech. I cannot tell you enough about this book. I've been talking about it on my social media outlets because it is such a good book. I mean, it tells you what to say, how to say it, what to look for to see if your audience is being bored by you, and what to do about it. And it tells you everything about speaking from A to Z. I mean, it's everything from PowerPoint presentations all the way down to how to give a good toast at a wedding. Plus, the folks at Audible will give you this download for free with your 30-day free trial. Just click on the link below or in the show notes at CorrineSandifer.com for your free Audible trial. You can also go to www.audibletrial.com/rising stories. This helps keep the podcast going, so if you can click on any links that you are thinking about purchasing, please consider purchasing books and products mentioned on the show with the links provided in the show notes. It just helps keep Rising Stories going. So here is my conversation with Courtney Whitmore. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks. I'm thrilled. I'm excited to talk with you.
And I've been Googling you and reading your stuff on your website, and you have this long history of being a blogger. So you started blogging a long time ago. Well, in the internet age, I guess it's like dog years, right? So
yes, I'm a grandma blogger, I think.
What year did you start?
I started in 2010, so it'll be 8 years this March, and it has kind of flown by. But yes, indeed, a lot has changed in 8 years in the blogging atmosphere.
Yeah. What's been the one thing that has surprised you the most about the change in the blogging world?
It was always social media based, but what's changed is that now there's Pinterest and Instagram. So before, I think people sat more so on the blogs. They would be on the blog website reading it, and now they're viewing content on social media platforms. So the biggest thing that surprised me is where they're viewing the content is not necessarily your website anymore. And I think that it's not a huge difference, but you just have to be able to adapt and kind of roll with whatever new platform pops up.
So is the still for those bloggers that are out there that are trying to make it big or to just to make it, is your goal to be an Instagram, like is your goal for people to go to Instagram and Pinterest, or is it still to go back to your website?
It's definitely still the website, but I don't mind if people view an Instagram or a Pinterest and get a neat idea and go from there, because that's what I do. Sometimes I don't necessarily need to click through. But as on the blogger side, the goal it would indeed be to try to draw people to your website, because that's where you have ad revenue, but it's also where you have the full idea or the full recipe or all the photos. Yeah. So you're wanting to kind of draw people in.
Yeah. And I do follow some people that, have recipes or whatever. They'll talk about something maybe in their Instagram story, and I love going to their website and getting the whole thing, because then you find the printable recipe or whatever. And so that's always that you do. Yes. That's the correct term, really. You phrase it right. Just that's where you get the big picture. That's where you see the whole thing.
Right.
It's kind of like, you're not just seeing a piece of an outfit, you're just going to see the whole thing. So
right.
I love that. You know what surprised me about the internet and blogging was just how huge it was going to be, and that there's room for everyone.
There really is. Some people don't even have a blog. They strictly have an Instagram, and they're making a full-time living off of it. So some people are huge on Pinterest, and that's where their focus is. So there really is room for everyone. There's so many ideas out there, and people can build on ideas that have already been done. And there's room. And just because I've been doing it 8 years would not mean that I would stop anyone from trying. I have a lot of coffee dates with people that kind of want to get into this, and whether it's Vanderbilt students or art students, and I've encouraged them, and a few of them have started websites. That's really exciting.
Yeah. So you're an author because you've written several books, your last one being Pizzazzerie, Entertain in Style, which describe that book to me.
Yeah, so it's essentially like a full-on party book. So there's 13 tablescapes with party DIYs for each party and over 50 recipes, because I'm a huge recipe lover, and I love cookbook, but I really wanted to flesh it out more to kind of how do you use these recipes and also throw a party, and then how can you mix and match them to create any sort of occasion, from baby showers to bridal showers to anything, New Year's Eve parties, whatever. So I really wanted it to kind of show the full picture, but then people can kind of pick and choose the ideas that they love to kind of create a special entertaining moment for them.
What's your favorite party to throw?
Oh, goodness. Probably a baby shower.
Really? I never thought about that, but that's good.
I just feel like everyone is already so excited. I mean, you don't have to kind of try to get everybody's mood up. So for instance, like Super Bowl, I mean, the girls in the room are probably already over it. They just came with food. But I feel like a baby shower, everybody there is so excited, and there's just that super, anticipation of the baby to come and all of those wonderful moments. So I'd say that's my favorite.
I was going to pick bridal, but now when you say that, I think I'll go with yours too. Yeah, it's because you're right. Everyone is already excited, and every gift that people, that you open is just precious. I mean, like how could it not be? It's for a tiny baby. Yes. So, and the color schemes have changed now. There's, we don't have to just do pink and blue.
Right. There's a lot you can do. And I feel like people love to kind of do mini desserts or mini appetizers at that kind of event, because you're kind of eating in your lap sometimes while you watch the mom open. And I love anything miniature. So I'm kind of into any party that lets me turn my favorite dishes into miniature versions. So,
yeah. You know what? And I don't know if this is true in Nashville. I'm originally from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but here in Nashville, people just love to congregate in the kitchen. And I always want, like, is everything, like, it seems like they just want buffet. Like, they want to just put it out there, and which is great. But in Dallas, when we used to do bridal parties, they would bring you your plate. Like, I guess the servers or whatever, or people, maybe the hostesses would be plating, and then they would bring it to you.
Well, I think you're seeing a huge move towards informal parties, but I do see the kitchen thing happen a lot. But I'm kind of halfway in between. So I don't mind making my own plate, but I don't want to do it in the kitchen unless that's where the dining table is. But I have a formal dining room, and I try to put everything into that dining room, and kind of kitchen is off limits. Kitchen's where I can put the like packaging or the extra paper towel or just whatever I need. Like, don't look at my kitchen, stay in that dining room where I've made it look pretty. And so I don't mind if people kind of make their own plates, but I want it to be still a touch of formal, a touch of fancy. And so I think it just depends on, they're going to go where that food is. So if you're prepping the food in the kitchen and laying it out on your island, that's where they're going to go. But if you've got a dining room, you can usually keep people from kind of congregating in the kitchen.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. But you're also, so you describe yourself as an author, blogger, but you're also a content creator. And I know people are going to want to know what that means and what that entails by, content creator. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I have a prop room in my house full of dishes and napkins and tablecloths and props. And I shoot kind of like a studio. So I am shooting content for clients or just for myself, for my site. Whether it's a cocktail, full tablescape, a DIY idea, and then that content, whether it's going on Instagram or on another website or a brand site or my site, it'll live there. And so now I think everybody is kind of a content creator, on Instagram when you like go to a coffee shop and everybody wants to take a cute picture of their latte. So like in some sense, everybody's a content creator as opposed to years ago when we weren't sharing photos of our life. But I do it professionally as a job, essentially. So I create these recipes in my kitchen and then I photograph them or tablescapes. And so then they're just kind of used wherever, whether it's on, like I said, whether it's on a website or mine or in print, like in a book.
And so your job, the way you make a living is a lot of times they will hire you out to develop content or to develop a tablescape or some type of style for companies.
Yes. So that's essentially my main job, obviously running the website and ad revenue, but I basically make a living from partnering with these brands to create content. So whether they're using these tablescapes or whether they have a product launch coming up and they need a tablescape surrounding it, a new wine or dishes. And then I give them that imagery and then they can use it in their marketing purposes. And sometimes they also want me to post it because I have like an influencer side of my site being on social media. But sometimes they don't care. I work a lot with Bath & Body Works Instagram account. And so they don't need me to post it. They're strictly looking for content. So I am their content creator behind the scenes for a lot of their kind of seasonal stuff.
And do they have, how did you fall into this? How did you get into this? Did you know that was a thing that people would pay for content?
No. And it was very rarely done 8 years ago. So the industry has started doing that and more brands are valuing the content that influencers and bloggers are creating. But 8 years ago, it was you could create a recipe for like $100 for a client. And that was a big deal at the time. So now it's so much different. So now it's a full-time job. But back then it was kind of brands were slowly starting to realize the potential. And now I think it's grown quite a bit in 8 years. So, which is good.
It has. It's exploded where people are looking to I guess I don't want to say ordinary because influencers are a little bit extraordinary where they're, sharing their lives and stuff, but they've become the people that we want to be like.
Well, and I think it's different than looking at a magazine or a TV show and watching stars create something or a magazine where it strictly looks like, people you don't know created this and it's in a magazine, and I could never do that. So now you're seeing someone who maybe on Instagram stories is showing you a side of their life and their dog, their child, their husband, and then turning around and showing you how to create that Easter tablescape or whatever it is. And so I think then all of a sudden there's the sense of, oh, I could do that. Whereas in a magazine or on TV, it seems a little unachievable, or it seems a little bit too polished. Hopefully there, you could still create that polished look, and you can, but it can be a little bit more, I can do that, which I hope I can bring to people, is that you can create those magazine type tablescapes and recipes, but hopefully seeing me do it because I really don't have anything special that anybody else, doesn't have. So hopefully you can kind of get a little motivation or energy boost to kind of go and create some new recipes and set the table for a fun holiday party. Yeah,
I love that it is attainable, like that you too can do, some of the things that you're posting. And of course, with your book, that I think that really is helpful to have something like that where you can reference back and go, I want it to look like that.
Right.
And have everything right there, like everything you need to pick up at the party store or at the grocery store, and recreate it.
Yes, absolutely.
And then put it on your own Instagram. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about, you mentioned to me earlier about that you were at the Golden Globes at one point. Did you go this year?
I did not. I ran a live Twitter. I went the last 2 years for them, for Lindt Chocolate. So Lindt Chocolate is a brand I work with throughout the year, kind of like an ambassador for them. And they are a sponsor of the Golden Globes. So the last 2 years, they took me along. We threw an influencer party in LA right before the Globes. And then we attended in the after parties. And it was so fun. The Lindt boxes were displayed at each seat at the Golden Globes. And then there were after parties where they were creating like specific cocktails for them, like with a truffle. And it was wonderful. So that's definitely been a perk of the job, I guess you could say. So
did you did you help create that tablescape at the Golden Globes?
The tablescape at the Globes is pretty simple. They do that. It's strictly just white tablecloth and like red roses. And then the Lindt boxes. But I did create tablescapes at my house in bar cart styles that then were photographed and put on the site and put on Lindt's site to kind of show people how they can entertain at home while watching the Golden Globes, whether it's making a signature cocktail, which we did serve at one of our parties surrounding the Golden Globes, or it's just kind of, here's a neat recipe idea to enjoy while you're like, create a huge chocolate and cheese board or something really fun for the Golden Globes. So that's kind of where the content creation comes in. So I'm creating content to kind of show people how they can enjoy the Golden Globes at home, but I was very fortunate to get to go the last 2 years. Yes.
That is so cool. That I just, I did notice, and I know probably everyone, what a great thing. So they were sponsoring the Golden Globes because they had the chocolates on the table.
Yes.
I mean, everyone saw them.
There's a few brands like Fiji Water was on the table because they're a sponsor of the Golden Globes. So usually you kind of sponsor for a few years and then decide if you want to keep doing it, or like the Oscars will have their own sponsor. There's always a handful, whether it's a wine and then a water and then a chocolate and a food or a, electronic sponsor. So Lindt was, and thankfully I work with them. So I was able to benefit from that sponsorship.
That was fun, I bet. Wow.
Yes.
How exciting. And this year you're also connected with Southern Living.
Yes.
You were on their December gift guide.
Yes. Last fall, I had the pleasure of going down to Birmingham and filming a Facebook Live with them where we showed 4 different tables from the book and kind of walked people through some of the ideas and where they can find items and how they can set it up in their home with the items they already have. And then they did include the book in their December gift guide, which was an amazing surprise. I did not know that was coming, so I was thrilled when my publisher told me that. But they're a pretty good fit to my demographic, so I think it was an exciting thing to discover. So
here's a kind of a business side of the whole thing question: is that, are you the person that constantly looking for the next affiliate or sponsorship, or do you have like an agent or an assistant that does that?
So I do have a non-exclusive agent in California that will bring some things to me, and he's great, and I'll work with him on some things. Or if a brand comes to me and I don't want to manage it, I'll send it to him. But But because I've been doing this for so long without a manager, I'm pretty comfortable and pretty control freak. So I like to manage most of my projects, and I don't have an assistant. It's just me. My mom styles with me some, but as far as like the business side of things, it's just me, and I don't mind it like that. I've had interns in the past, and I've had some people help with a few little things here and there, but I prefer to do it by myself. And that's probably one of the reasons I wanted to work for myself, is just I kind of like to schedule out my day when I want to, and I don't want to feel like I have to be back down into a chair or behind a camera from 8 to 5. But yeah, so the brands come to me, thankfully. I think maybe because I've been doing this a while, brands will reach out, and then you kind of decide if it's a fit and if it's a go, or if you decide, that doesn't really fit my audience, or I just don't love that product, or whatever it may be. You kind of decide if it's a good to go or not.
Oh, I'm with you. I love having to be able to say no and to, pick and choose. I love that.
Yes.
That's awesome. So how long have you been in Nashville?
I came to go to Vanderbilt when I was 18. So over 10 years.
Wow. You've been here a while.
Weekend.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's your favorite? If no one understands that Nashville has changed, like leaps and bounds change. I mean, every corner almost in downtown looks totally different than it did even 5 years ago. But what's your favorite thing about the new, I like to call it the new Nashville. What's your favorite thing about the new Nashville?
Oh gosh, probably how 12th South has changed. So I used to kind of live a little bit down there, and I shot one of my books in a studio kind of down near Belmont, but the 12th South area has just popped up so much, and it was kind of just a sad little street there for a while. So the Gulch, I feel like, was always kind of rolling and started. You could kind of tell where that one was going to go, but I don't know that I saw that 12th South would be kind of what it is today. So I'm thrilled that it's a little easier to get into as far as fun meat shops and stuff without feeling like you have to go to downtown or the Gulch or anywhere. So I like that it's accessible and close to where I live now even. So
I love that there's lots of small pockets of great restaurants all over Nashville. What's your favorite place? What's your favorite restaurant? Nashville proper?
I was saying earlier, I love Adele's, but I also love Edley's, because right when we used to live by there, when I was pregnant with my daughter, their nachos were pretty much the only thing I wanted to eat 9 months.
Tell me about these nachos.
They're just so, it's like a black bean, pulled chicken. Of course, you could get pulled pork, but
yum.
and now they've expanded, and now they're kind of crowded to get into. But at least in the beginning, when you could kind of just sneak in there, and it was up next to the filling station with cool beers. My husband would go there, get me a beer, and I would just go get nachos. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go and try those nachos. That sounds really good. I'm always looking for something with barbecue. Because I'm not a big like barbecue sandwich fan. I like the barbecue, but I don't like the bread part. But I love nachos, so that's right up my alley. So let me ask you a quick question. This is a girl question. Well, it could be any question, but for anyone. But when you are looking for like a blouse to wear to a fun event, where do you shop here in Nashville?
I'm pretty basic, so I'm definitely not fashion and beauty blogger. I am strictly table and food. So the food side of things, I would be at like Loft. Like I don't, like I'm one of those people that needs the capsule wardrobe. Like I wear the same 4 things over and over again. And you know how they say like you wear 80%, no, you wear 20% of your wardrobe 80% of the time. Like that's 100% definite for me. Like all I wear is just black and boring, because I'm behind the camera, and I'm when I have to be in front of the camera, like I don't know what to do with myself. But I just am. I might jazz up earrings, but I'm just pretty basic. So probably Loft or something really boring. I like J. Crew too. But those, just kind of basic stuff. I'll go over to Nordstrom's, but I kind of live about a mile from that Nordstrom rack, so that one I hit up quite a bit.
I get overwhelmed with Nordstrom and. I get overwhelmed with a lot of stores, and sometimes, which is why Target is probably my number one, because I'm there already.
Yes, I should not forget Target. Target is like a staple in my closet. I just want like basic black tee and jeans or leggings, or I'm chasing a 3-year-old all day long, and so then I'm also shooting and going to pick up props and styling. So No one really sees me but the 3-year-old, so my husband and my dog. But yeah, so basic stuff. Like I'm just very basic when it comes to clothes.
Yeah, me too. I like my t-shirt and jeans. So Courtney, tell me, what was the best business advice anyone ever gave you?
Oh, goodness. I'm not sure if this was given to me or I just discovered this along the way, but now I feel like I just want to, it's one of the things I love to tell people. There's 2 things, actually. So the first one I would say would be leave space out there. So don't fill your schedule, literal calendar, and your mental calendar to 100%. So fill it to 80. And you may think, I can't do that when I'm getting going because I need to take every second and fill it with something else. But then if you do that, so if I filled my calendar to 100%, I wouldn't have been able to take my first book deal because I would have promised myself to other stuff. Or you don't know what's going to come down the pipeline. So be sure you have the ability to kind of add a side project. And I think when you work for yourself, it's a whole lot of little projects. It's not one large thing. So it's a book on one side, it's a product line over here, it's the blog, it's whatever. So I think if you throw all your eggs and fill 24 hours a day with one thing, then you might have to say no to some stuff. So I think being able to multitask different projects and make sure you've got time out there to do them. And another one would be, don't view social media as a time waster. So like the average Joe, yeah, they probably should put their phone down and not scroll Instagram or scroll Pinterest or Facebook because they may think, oh my gosh, I just lost an hour of my day and all I did was scroll the Facebook newsfeed. But if you do what I do, at least, that's business time. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen a link go by from like a Facebook group, or I have seen something that triggered an idea when just scrolling like Twitter or Instagram or wherever. And so also you're growing, like commenting and engaging, you're growing your own audience, which is pretty crucial when you do what I do. So I don't ever view that time as wasted. It's business time to me. Like that's an important part. And if I have not been on social media at all in a day or two, I don't know if I care that much about seeing like my high school friend's daughter. I mean, I love that stuff, but I care more about it going, I need to get back in there and see what's happening, because that's when you find out. It's kind of like a underground industry. So like other bloggers are where you find out, did you hear that, you can now download this plugin for your site and it'll add no follow links for you in the code. I mean, there's a lot of things that you don't know about that we can kind of figure out. And so I think that is crucial. Yeah,
I totally agree. Yeah. My husband's a stockbroker. So to me, I feel like this is my stock. I've got to watch it. It's what is it called? The stock market, how it's always changing.
Yes, that's for sure.
It's got another name and I can't think of it right now, but yeah, it's like, I've got to watch the market. I've got to watch what's going on with the rest of, what's new, what are people doing? And, don't you wish though that Instagram would turn around and do where you can add links on your post? Wouldn't that be so much easier?
I'm kind of surprised they haven't. I think I just heard they're rolling out different fonts and Instagram stories, and like that's fine. But I'm wondering why there are resources into things like that, or like new face filters. I mean, I like them, especially the one that makes me look like I have makeup on. But at the end of the day, I would indeed love to add links. I don't know whether they think it's going to draw people out of the app, which it would. So I don't know whether that's the concern, but they allow it for Instagram stories. So maybe that was kind of a test run to see if it can keep people in the app also.
Yeah. I forget that they do add it for Instagram stories. Yeah. But you can't do any type of links, like if you've got like a link to maybe and sometimes people, I don't know if whoever's out there is listening, that you can have an affiliate and you can have your own sort of link. Like if I'm, there's a sale on a certain product and I have a link to it that gets you a discount, then I would love for that to be in the post. That way people can,
right.
Or even for me, like I would love to just be able to click on there. If you're talking about there's, it's 20% off of your book. Oh, well, let me click on there. And
right. And so you kind of can, thankfully you can. So on Facebook pages, if you create a shop section and you add products, they will then show up on your Instagram page. So I have to play around with that a little more, but it sounds like they're trying. But they have a long way to go, I'd say.
So on your Facebook page, you can link onto the shop page, onto your...
Like create a tab for shop, and then it lets you add products, and you can like link to them. So I have my book, but you could put a product and then the link to where to buy it. And then if you go over onto Instagram, and you know how you could tag people within the photo? Mm-hmm. So instead of tag people, I also see tag products, because on my Facebook page, which is linked to my Instagram page, I have products linked over there in the shop tab. So then they show up and I can tag them. And then when people click on that photo, it'll pop up with like a little icon in the price, and then they tag it or they click it, and then it'll open a new website.
Oh, that's awesome. That's what we need. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, Courtney, what are your 3 favorite things that you're absolutely loving? Could be anything.
This is hard because I like a lot of things. I'm currently loving, I was saying this earlier, I'm so obsessed. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a beauty blogger, but I'm quite into Bobbi Brown's, it's called Extra Eye Repair Cream. And I don't even think most eye creams work. I think they're all just like the same stuff put in a bottle. But that's how much I know about beauty things. But Bobbi Brown Extra Eye Repair Cream, I think this stuff actually works, like as opposed to most things that don't work.
Really? What does it do?
It's like super, super thick. Like you're going to open it, what in the world? But I really like it. And the second is I need to reread it, but I read it on a plane like when I first got going, but it's the 4-Hour Work Week. And
I love that one.
That. Granted, I think I work 40 hours every other day, 24 hours a day. But I do believe at least in the 4-Hour Work Week and like what it means, and that it's okay. Essentially, it's down to how much money you can make, and if you can do that in 4 hours, then you don't need to like stare at the computer screen anymore. I mean, it depends on what you need to serve, to live, and then what you want to do. So I have like love products out there, love projects. I mean, so like whether it's the book or something like that. But the 4-Hour Work Week, I love that. And then oh gosh. I don't think this is a new trend. It's probably a dying trend, but I'm into marble, and there's some marble plates on Amazon by Goatinger, and I just used them in a shoot, and a lot of people messaged me and loved them. I've been pulling them out a lot lately, so that's a small love, but I do love these little marble plates. And,
I think I saw that.
They're solid size, and when people ask me like, how do I accumulate all these props for tablescapes, and I always say, don't buy the dinner size. Like that's bigger to store, and it's more expensive. Like buy a fun like salad size plate in a few different colors or a few different prints, and they're easier to store, they're cheaper, and you can just set them on top of a white plate. Just have a great set of white, and then you can switch things up with like a salads. So it's just an easier way to grow your props or tablescape type things if you love to throw parties. And so there's some marble ones on Amazon though, and I pretty much live for Amazon Prime, so that's my favorite. That would probably be my thing would be Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime now in Nashville. It's a blessing, especially when you have children.
Because if they're like, I would think that I didn't have it when my kids were little, but I think that like when your kid wakes up and they're sick and you don't want to go anywhere, you just want to be next to them, you can get on there and get chicken soup, you can get medicine, you can get whatever, and have it delivered in 2 hours.
It's amazing. And every time I order anything, sometimes you have to come up with a certain amount so that it'll be like eligible for free shipping or free delivery or whatever. I always add water bottles because I hate lugging those things to the grocery store. So I just put water bottles on, AKA like make them lug it to my door. And it's that way, because at the grocery store, sometimes I'm like rolling around and going, do I want to do the water bottles today? Like, I don't really want to do. Or if I'm in like heels, which is rare, but if I am, I'm like, I don't want to haul water bottles. So that's my favorite thing to add to Amazon Prime now to get it to bump up the price.
That is a great tip.
Yeah.
Great tip. I'm going to do that. I'm going to just have that on there. Do you do the grocery store delivery? I love that too. Just
I have done it a little bit, but the average person would probably love it. I'm a bit of a control freak, so like I want to see what I'm getting. But that also comes from the job. So like I'm the one at the grocery store that's like staring at all the mint in the little containers trying to find the greenest mint because I shoot food. So I need to see that one produce item, or I need to see the size of that cookie to see if it'll work with something. So I'm like the weirdo that takes their time in the aisles. But if I was just shopping for the family, 100%, I'd be all over that. Like the click list at Kroger. Like I did it once. I need to try it again. And it's been a while.
I haven't done the click list. I've only done the Walmart because Walmart has very unusual things that most groceries don't have. Walmart, I guess the grocery store.com, whatever. And I don't mind driving up. And I love that they are very, they will ask you, like, do you want this substitute? And they explain it or show it to you, and you can always say no. So, anyway, I love those. So thanks so much, Courtney. This has been so much fun getting to know you and hearing about your exciting life. And I love that you have been blogging forever, and I can't wait to go to your website again. And I love to search like recipes and all of the things that you're doing. I love that.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I loved chatting, and now I think I'm going to go order my groceries on delivery.
Oh my gosh, I am a big fan of hers. You know, the one thing that she said that just really stuck with me was that it's business. You know, when you're on social media, if that is your job, if you are putting forth something, either a product or a service or something like a podcast, it's your job to be on social media. And that was just really something that I started looking at it differently. And you know what I attribute it to? You know, I used to read certain industry books or industry magazines, you know, Coaching World, that kind of things, those kinds of things. And so now I see that as it is part of advancing my career, advancing what I do. So I really think that she's onto something. I loved that tip. I loved all the things that she is loving, and make sure that you find her at Pizzazzerie.com. Make sure that you are following her on Instagram. I'll have all that in the show notes for you to just click on there and go directly to Instagram and follow her. So, love that she came on the show, and thanks so much for listening. I hope that you have found something helpful or inspiring on the show. If so, I would love to hear about it. If you want to either leave me a comment on Instagram, or if you wouldn't mind going over to iTunes and leaving a review, that would be so helpful. It helps other people find the show. Or you can share it on social media, tell your friends on Facebook or Instagram, tag me. I would love it. Today's show was sponsored by Audible, and music is by Ben Sound. You can find him at bensound.com. Please consider supporting Rising Stories podcast by purchasing books and products mentioned on the show with the link provided in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening, and keep rising in your story.